Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting and everything and amazing Propagandacast with me, Host Pearl Dane, the one and only Master of Propaganda. We're off here to our 1v1 on Pachino Stalemate. In the northwest stands Stephenn, fighting for America, freedom, democracy and liberty here with the 91st Infantry Division. Holding the lines here, previously secured during the night in the face of German counterattack here by TheSloth. Not to be confused with the moment for short, the other Sloth. But fighting here for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland forming up here with the 15th Panzergrenadier Division tasked with retaking this tactically vital city. We got a Kennengrad Grenadiers out here for the Sloth, no battle groups yet. We got armoured right here for Stephenn, he actually goes for assault engineers. Definitely not one of your more common US openings, as, you know, Jeeps are definitely by far the more popular thing to go with. But that's Stephenn. He always likes to do his own thing, and that's what makes him very interesting, besides, of course, being quite a good player. So, sandbags part Y being prepared by the field point here. East side Pioneers, Grenadier Ken crattling about. As always, a big hearty thanks to my Patreon supporters for the continued and generous support of the Propagandacast, allowing the War Machine to keep going. Here's a big thanks to all those wonderful people, and a big thanks to those who keep liking and commenting on my videos. Helps out immensely, you know, getting out the word to as many people as possible. So we got a battle group choice here. It is the mechanized battle group here for TheSloth. Grenadiers moving up towards the center here. Assault engineers at the ready here for Stephenn. Riflemen setting out. Will there be more assault engineers here for Stephenn is, of course, the big question. Looks like we're going to see the first clash around the center here. Assault engineers, Grenadiers, both conversion. There you go. Assault engineers get the drop here on the Grenadiers with their grease guns here. Flying 45 caliber rounds here. The Grenadiers will quickly, well, pop into the church here to avoid getting gunned down in the streets. And south here, Scouts pursuing the Ken crowd there. MD4 over the Sloth and done. Grenadiers back north here from the center of the map here. Stephenn also decided to pop off a bit before moving in again. In the south, Grenadiers is definitely heading there to, I think, try and deal here with Stephenn's southern extension. MD42 Team Aram here for TheSloth. Riflemen at the ready here for Stephenn as the assault engineers probing the center here, finding it clear of Germans. Move into actually secured. Ken Krat rushing northwards here for TheSloth. Pioneers base as well there. Crashing through the fences, the Ken Krat rapidly advances. The Ken Krat was designed as a light tractor for, like, you know, Luftwaffe divisions and whatnot, basically the Fallschirmjägers, to basically haul around their stuff. That would also see service in a variety of other uses, as the Warm and Dawn, and for example, be used for taxiing aircraft, when aircraft fuel became a lot rarer. Machining gewehr this and getting flanked by the Scouts and building here, pushing up here, some bit of probing here and there, but so far, no real pitched engagements yet. Of course, this may just change now as he moves in from the north here. Scouts flanking in here, lacking, though, anything to really affect the battlefield with. They may find themselves short. Steam, though, is flanking around. He's making use of the Scouts for this, by the way. They're able to pop in here and scout out the Sloth's position, telling Stephenn where the machine gun is able, I think, to cover, and then he can actually exploit this. So this is a really good setup there by Stephenn against the Sloth. Very good there. 2 thumbs up to Stephenn. Do have another Grenadiers arriving here, but now with the MD14 flanked here, Stephenn sent with most of his troops there, basically daring here the Sloth to stick around here, or risk losing machine to the assault engineers get close up there with the grease guns and absolutely rip through them. Grenadiers doing what they can here. Scouts forced back here. Up north, though, Sloth is making great progress against Stephenn, but in the south, Stephenn is on the making great progress due to, well, good maneuvering here, but the north, due to being completely denuded of any troops, basically is collapsing here rapidly to the Sloth and the 15th Panzergrenadier Division. Ken crowd, of course, rapidly gobbling up terrain. We got more GIs out here for Stephenn. Right from the soldiers saying northwards now. Southern field point is captured by the Grenadier. We got a Luftwaffe company here for the Sloth. Ken crowds by the riflemen being pushed back here. Shots fired into the fuel tank there. Pioneers down with some barbed wire. Very good. Back here, Scouts getting reinforced. We've got the medical station there for Stephenn. Very good. Riflemen pursuing up here with assault units in tow. Pioneers lifting to out there. No match against this many very clearly upset Americans. Yeah, the grease gun was very much just the Americans, you know, attempt to make a much easier to produce submachine gun than the Thompson, because, well, they needed something that was, well, easier to produce than the Thompson, which was fairly expensive and manpower intensive. Additionally, the Thompson was very heavy for a submachine gun. So the grease gun was basically designed to, like, you know, fit all of these, you know, issues that the Thompson had. Fun fact. North here, we got the Rascal moving there. We got the Scouts heading further northwards as well. 2-1 on the way there for TheSloth. The Leichter Panzerspielwagen here. certainly tends to, you know, be a common pick when you go for mechanized. You go for 2-2-1s, or you go for 2-2-1s, you go for mechanized. Mines in the center from Stephenn, very good. Thumbs up. Very good. So a lot of spread out attention here from both sides now, both looking to gain as much territory as they can. Stephenn looking to secure fuel supply lines, and of course Sloth looking to cut them off. Armoured car here over to Stephenn. With 3 rival squads, the assault engineers, now the flamethrower, and of course the captain. Armor car pushing forwards here, racing it, air crashing into some nearby bushes. Riflemen occupying the church here for safety purposes. And we got a mortar here for Stephenn. Stephenn, of course, a big fan of mortars, both for their explosive potential, but also the general utility of the smoke screens. Stephenn is probably one of the more foremost smoke screen players when it comes, I think, to using mortars. So thumbs up there. Armor covers this on news here, pushing in hard with a likely punch of Wagner. Stephenn's forces here are in trouble. Fuel point there. Recaptured by Stephenn for now, but I imagine the Sloth is already scheming his way towards decapturing it once more. Mortar team out here. Cannon Pratt rushing northwards here. Very good work here by the Sloth keeping his Cannon Pratt alive. Personally, I am not very good at it. But I think in the right hands, you know, you get the Cannon Pratt can be a very, very powerful utility vehicle. Those hands are just not mine. Armor car pushing for the captain here. Route squad over here. Mortar joining in. Captain there taking a lot of damage. Stephenn, I think, definitely overstayed his welcome there with the captain. And this is going to be, I think, a wipe here for the Sloth, unless Stephenn now gets exceedingly lucky, which he does not. At least the light machine doesn't drop here, though. This close to Stephenn's space, this is actually, I think, a benefit for the Sloth rather than an issue for Stephenn around the Sloth, because the light machine would pretty much been his guaranteed, where Sloth would never have a chance to get his hands on it. Up north here, fresh wave of German troops moving to the northern fields here of Pachino. Maschinengewehr and Grenadier there being sent in to flash out so as verdammt Amerikanen. South side, we got Jägers out here for the Sloth. Calling in some support from nearby Jäger Division here for the 15th Panzergrenadiers. North here, mines going off, rather than being forced back here. Scouts still poking about. As for Stephenn, I do believe we are looking at a motor pool here. Light vehicles will be unleashed against the Sloth. Some units there burning up, hitting mines. It's an absolutely horrific situation there for the Jaegers as they become the hunted. In the south, Pioneers trying to lay down mines, but Stephenn is already putting a halt to that. Armored car there, need repairs, heavily damaged, but also close to Veterans U1. Source being forced into it, getting heavy fire upon them here from the Maschinengewehr and the Panzer of the Pioniere there. And Stephenn is going for a 4th rifle squad here versus the Germans. Assault units there holding the line, but for how much longer can they hold here by the church walls? I think, yeah, they have to retreat here. Stephenn takes it on decision. He really can here, and he orders a withdrawal. Back at base for the Sloth. We got more Jaegers on the way there. Mortars being hauled forwards here for Stephenn. We got the Riflemen moving forwards here. 2 squads here advancing on the German southern flank here. Armored car that almost fixed. Center we can see 15th Panzergrenadier Division advancing. And here in the south, Route squad being met by the 2-2-1 and the Pioniere. But the Pioneers there were caught repairing and suffer extra damage while doing so. But now we got the X moving in here with Scope G43s and Panzergrenadiers on the way there. Catching the Riflemen in a bit of a bad position now. Veterans one, the 2-2-1 as well here. Further complicated situation here for Stevens men in the south. He is going for the Greyhound though. Of course, will he keep at it with the Panzergrenadier team out? That is, of course, a bit of a question. Rifleman there, push back here as the 15th Panzergrenadier Division now launches a more fierce assault in the southeast. Stevens' lines are rupturing under the intense pressure here of the Germans. Center they're being held by the Grenadiers. And up north, we've got a smaller counterattack here by Stephenn, but there's an MD-42 here. Nicely disguised behind the wreckage of a cannon crat, ready to halt that counterattack. 2-1 racing up through the center of Pachino. Greyhound, though, is almost done here for him. The Stephenn ready to counterattack the Germans. That's going to, I think, do a lot there for Stephenn. Rather than they're caught with the 2-1 out in the open. Greyhound right around the corner. In the southeast, German Jaegers swiftly panting through. Pioneers following up here. Assault's going in the fuel point there as the Sloth looks to cut it off. But now we have the M8 ground out here for Stephenn. Armored car getting out of there. Gonna get pursued here likely. So, south side here, mortar firing down there on Stephenn's Jaegers there with that Panzerschreck, the Raketen Panzerbüchse, which is a fun fact, was actually just basically the Germans reverse engineering a bazooka and just deciding, you know what, we should do this bigger. Of course, for those wondering what is the gun shield on the Panzerschreck for, it's actually to protect the user from the Panzerschreck itself, because in the process of just going, yeah, we just you know, make a bazooka, but bigger. It turns out they didn't get all the dimensions correctly, so when the rocket fired off there, it would, you know, vent out nasty, noxious gases, and that necessitated, you know, protecting the gun. Initially, they used gas mask and, you know, gloves, but apparently turns out just adding the gun shield there did the trick. Fun fact. Armor covers the Ralph Squad, Grenadiers here. Pushing back, Stephenn securing the center. Fresh minds there, thumbs up. Over to TheSloth. A lot of back and forth here. Ground, of course, a significant threat here to TheSloth. Engineers here caught in the center by the 2-1 and the Jaegers here. Up north, there's Stephenn hitting the fuel point right side of his opponent's base. Good harass from there, good action. Engineers in center, a bit of trouble here. Jaegers also getting scorched there. Pioneer being pushed back here by the Greyhound. And we actually got the support elements of the Luftwaffe company unlocked. Now that's a rare sight. The vast majority of Wehrmacht players, if they do go for the Luftwaffe company, pretty much very rarely ever like go for, like, you know, the support elements upgrade. So that's a very interesting pick. We also got BRs up now for Stephenn, of course, a big boost there for his men. And we actually get the Marder 3. Wow, he didn't actually upgrade the 2-1 here, which is, I think, what most Wehrmacht players here would have done. Instead, he's actually going to go for the Marder 3. Wow, that's a very interesting pick here. Very non-meta, which only makes it more exciting. Up north, the machine gun setting up within the river. That's quite the moist position. Greyhound moving up, he catching the gurneys and bad spot, but there you go. Stephenn there slips up, gets within Panzerfaust range, and gets Panzerfausted very predictably. Oh, he cancels the Marder, instead goes for the Stug 3D. That's a pretty spicy choice as well. Pretty cool, though. Definitely was not expecting that, and I doubt Stephenn will either. So that does provide here TheSloth with some more potent anti-infantry firepower here, plus, of course, a Panzergrenadier squad. That definitely gets a bit more exciting. Grenadiers in trouble with the Ralph squads. Low on health here. Sturmgeschütz moving forwards. Panzergrenadiers disembarking. And there you go. Reifman getting pummeled here with the Stug. As suddenly seen for himself on the receiving end of a fresh German offensive from the 15th Panzergrenadier Division. In the south here, we got the 2-1 being caught with the Reifman. But Stephenn, I don't think, has actually researched grenades here, so he can't snare up the 2-1, which is very lucky for TheSloth. Very lucky. In the center, meanwhile, the German assault continues swinging the Stug. Backing up the Panzergrenadiers and the Jaegers here. Start clearing the center. Pachino proper. Straight into mine. We got Chaffin on the way here for Stephenn. That's definitely going to necessitate, I think, a Marder or an upgraded 2-1 here for TheSloth. Unless Stephenn suddenly decides to misplay his Chaffee spectacularly. I mean, that is possible, but certainly unlikely. Fighting for the center continues here. Stephenn putting up more resistance, I think, than TheSloth was expecting. South side being claimed by the Americans. We got 379 versus 406. Victory points wise, it is fairly close. And now we got the airburst shells, which I actually don't know if the Americans had for the mortars. I know the Germans actually did, though that was more less directly airburst. It was more the designed a mortar bomb with a slight bit of like explosives at the tip, so it would basically just bounce back up before then detonating. Fun fact. Meanwhile, Chaffee strikes straight to the Panzerschreck. Definitely not where you want your Chaffee to go. Flanking the Stug D there. Good shot for the sidearm there from the Chaffee. Up north, their fresh American offensive. Stephenn's Grenadier caught in a pretty awkward spot here. Now rapidly forced to the draw here. Stephenn in the 91st Division that looks to reclaim the northern heights here. Sturmgeschütz spotted by the Jaegers pushing after that mortar. The south, the Greyhounds not able to inflict much damage here, as long as the Panzerschreck Jaegers are there. If Stephenn can't remove those, the Stug D is going to be very exposed there. So I'm managing to be careful. We've got the 2-1 moving forwards. And now we do actually get the Marder here. A Marder in a 1v1 from the Wehrmacht, that is. The DAC, that's, you know, fairly common stuff. With the Wehrmacht, that's pretty rare. Fixing up the Chaffee here. Run with the drawing here. 2-1 moving up. Marder 1/3 of the way done here for TheSloth. Caught here by the Greyhound, taking the loss there as Otto gets ripped apart here. Meanwhile, Panzer engaged with the Rifle Squad. Being pursued here. Rifle then doing what they can here. Stooping up head, and there we go. We got the Marder 3 Ausführung M out, the last model of Marder 3. So there's a fun choice there out of TheSloth. Grenade being chucked. Here's Stuke firing in here. Machining gewehr holding up the church. It's getting awfully hot in there. It's getting awfully hot in here. Yes, an editor just said that. Anyways, in the south, the armored car pushing forwards. Marder, Jaegers moving up here. Looks like it's going to try and exert heavy influence there on the Greyhound to push it out there. Looks like he didn't need to. Stephen just withdraws anyways. Perhaps his Stephen sense there was tingling. Pony's being pushed back. Rifle doing what they can. We got the Chaffee moving up. Armored car getting flanked here. Marder needs to turn around. Chaffee's going in hard here. This could turn a bit ugly here for the Marder, as he was definitely not ready for that. Over to Stephen here, who does have grenades down there. Goes going to snare up the Marder free. Panzergrenadier joining, but there go Graham now flanking the Jaegers. Definitely a bit of a bad situation from the Sloth in the south. Jaegers about to get wiped out. This could be huge here for Stephen, in particular. Drop the Panzergrenadier and then seize it. More rifle moving up here. Can he get the Jaeger wiped? Looks like the answer to that is no. Stephen gets a bit of bad luck there. He can't finish the final Jaeger.
But don't push your luck.
Close call though. Armored car, Marder, and Stuke D all need repairs there. Chaffing up towards the center, Sortney's laying down mines again. Up north, there's scouts base as well. Stephen's got pretty good map control right now versus the Sloth. And there you go, going straight in for the Sloth. Sturmgeschütz 3 Ausführung D. Before withdrawing. In the center, Rathborn caught with that 2-1, which is getting ever closer to 22. In the south, we got the Jaegers, the Panzergrenadier advancing up, flanking around here. Stephen's southern flank, or he's trying to. In the center, that Greyhound Chaff withdrawing. Stephen not looking to push his luck. We don't have much else on the base here. Could go for War Machine. Start churning out like lots of Chaffies or Greyhounds here versus the Sloth. Oh, the Panzergrenadiers are in the danger zone of getting wiped, and they do go down. Great wipe here for Stephen, removing one of the more elite infantry units there. That under Sloth's command. Stephen definitely sounds like really control the map here, and the Sloth is starting to struggle a bit more. The Marder, unfortunately, was able to knock out either of the American vehicles. The Stuke is definitely doing its part for Deutschland. And there you go, Stephen with another Chaffee, though at this stage, I would definitely recommend maybe the... No, he's going to go straight for the ECs first. Actually, I was kind of thinking he was going to keep going for vehicles. He would benefit from War Machine just to make them cheaper, but that's another story. Jaeger's being disabled, the rifle here, pushing ahead here. Getting up close and uncomfortable. Grenades to the machining gewehr there. Jaegers here, closing in. Rifle squad moving forward, under cover smoke. Very good smoke in there. Jaeger supporting. Sturmgeschütz coming up as well here. And we got the grounds to move. Second Chaffee's almost ready here for Stephen. And the 91st Infantry. It's a full rout in the south here from the 15th Panzergrenadier as the situation collapses. Panzergrenadier misses. 2-1 now in trouble as well as the Greyhound pursues. Second Chaffee has been mobilized. Crowd squad there taking hits from the Sturmgeschütz. And up northeast here we got the Grenadiers catching the scouts. Back at the Sloth's base. Nothing happening at Chaffee versus the Sturmgeschütz. Alright, Carl, just aim right at it. Come on, Bob, I'm not that bad. You missed a tiger from the side. Anyways, flanking there the Stuke D here with the Chaffee. We're lucky we survived that one. Only got saved because Brad Pitt was there. Anyway, Stuke, they almost knocked out. Stephen, though, not diving in, of course, due to the Marder's presence. In fact, he might be able to take out the Chaffee, but no, Sloth decides it's not worth risking it. In for a nice, tasty Chaffee. Southie, Jaegers was the draft squad here. Stephen continues to exert strong map control, and Sloth continues to struggle to really break this bar-wielding stranglehold that Stephen so far has managed to build up over him. Nothing further here for the Sloth. No tech, no nothing. Stuke's, Marders need repairs. Southern points, then we can see they're right now once more on the move. We got 348 versus 248. Sloth is starting to fall behind Stephen here at a dangerous pace. Marders, Sturmgeschütz are being fixed up. Up north, Grenadiers, Jaegers on the move. And back here, troops, there we go. We got the Panzer Company for the Sloth. Marders, Stuke's being fixed up.
A victory point is under attack.
Grenadier setting out. More to their veterans you want. Bit of smoke there from Stephen. Marder inching forwards. The Marder 3 series was based off the Czechoslovakian Panzer 30AT. And would be surmounted here with the Model M and the Model H with the Pak 40. Fun facts.
Defend our
Of course, the Panzer's 38T will eventually be used for the Hetzer, amongst other things. But also see service like for an anti-aircraft tank. The Flak Panzer don't actually take apart, but also serves in this chassis. There's also the Grille, self-propelled artillery piece. Route squad here, though, getting caught up with the Stuke D. We got the focus fire belly, is what it's called there in the south. Rifles backed up with the chaffee moving forwards here, probing the southern flank here. But it looks like to some degree at least Sloth has stabilised here versus Stephenn. An ode to the Sloth. Just going here for mechanized assault. Thumbs up. Mine's gone off in the Greyhound. Engine knocked out. Got the Sloth mining up here. Stephenn trying to pull off his own little pattern push there. Instead was the one getting pushed off. Marder rapidly responding here, but could get outmaneuvered in the center though. Fighting is intensifying. Marder getting flanked with the Chaffies. Almost got knocked out here. Close call there for the Sloth. If he loses that Marder, this could be a big win for Stephenn. Could allow him to go in pretty hard here versus the Sloth. Jaeger's moving forward as well instead. Sloth sensing weakness here. I think is trying to pressure Stephenn into withdrawing here, but can he achieve it though? Rather than that with aiming forward to. There you go. Chaffee charging in here, or at least threatening the flank of the Stuke. Rifleman getting pummeled. Senseless here by the Sturmgeschütz. Chaffee withdrawing. Greyhound, Chaffees all need repairs here. Center, we got the machine gun moving up here. As for the Sloth, the Panzer Company is ready to go for Panther 4 soon. You could of course also go for Staatstruppen. Jaeger's forced out here by the Greyhound. Reinforcing healing, we got another mortar for Stephenn. Bring in more tubes here to try and force the Germans out. A bold choice there. And we actually got the 2-1 upgraded fairly late here. Clearly indicating that the Sloth, I think, is realizing he does need more firepower here to match all these Chaffies, though. Considering how close he is to the Panther 4, part of me figured he'd just go for the Panther 4 instead. Maybe he's planning Staatstruppen. Who knows? I mean, I imagine the Sloth knows, but he's not telling, now is he? Can't exactly interrogate him, now can I? Fairly certain that's against YouTube guidelines. No interrogating people live in YouTube. We are losing possession of a capture point. Yes, YouTube. Anyways, Ryan pushing against the Jaegers up north here. Smoke deployed to cover the advance. Clearly concerned about the machine gun around here. It is a good position for one. Thumbs up to Stephenn. Tactically very sensible approach here. Marder being fixed up. And we do get a Panther 4 here for the Sloth. Got the 2-1 ready here. Stuke D, Marder Fee, and soon a Panther 4. Quite the circus here from the Sloth. Machine gun getting smoked out in the center. Again, just very tactically sensible approach here by Stephenn. There's likely going to be something here, so deploying a smoke just going to take the point safely. Makes a lot of sense. And I think it's also just part of Stephenn's playstyle. He's a very tactical player. A lot of, like, you know, things he just does because tactically they make the most sense. So, really good play by Stephenn. Chaffee, though, getting pushed forwards here. Push back with the Americans now in return, but the Germans in return with Panzer 6 and the Panzerbuchse here. Getting caught in the victory point here. Good shot from the 2-1-28 here. We could get Panther as well on the Chaffee. We got the other Greyhound rushing in. Chaffee escapes here. 2-1 pushing forwards here though. Greyhound flanking. We still got the Panzer 6 on the flank here, and there's not enough support for the Greyhound, I think. Route squad, in fact, could get wiped out. He's diving in with the Greyhound here, but definitely slips up here, and that costs even the Greyhound here. Great kill there, and the Rifleman get wiped. That's a huge blow to Stephenn in the center, though. Stuke D getting flanked with the other chap. We got Rifleman for. It's actually the Panther 4, not the Stuke getting flanked here. My mistake. Panther 4 pushing forwards here. And now suddenly Stephenn's situation is looking a bit more dangerous. As for the rout of the Panther 4 and the loss of the Greyhound and the rout squad, Stephenn's position is a lot more precarious. The Sloth now holds a lot more firepower and, crucially, a lot more big guns here that could make things very difficult for Stephenn. In the south here, they're quickly reorganizing and seizing terrain here. Pioneers with a BIR as well there. We got more sword units out here for Stephenn. We got mortar fire on the Jaegers. We got the assaults closing up with the Grace guns here, pushing back the Jaeger. Northeast, even the strength points as well there, at least. Yeah, double mortars, though, still presents a problem here for the Sloth. But certainly losing a Greyhound and a Panther 4 there on the field presents a big problem there for Stephenn in return. But he's diving with the Stuke pretty aggressively here. It's definitely a slip up there by the Sloth. Perhaps it's a misclick or something else, hard to say. But this is a golden opportunity for Stephenn just, I think, go after the Stuke D here with the double Chaffies and knock it out here. Definitely a mistake there that's going to cost Sloth a fair bit there, even if you can't call in Panther 4s now. That is going to hurt here. 2 to 1 being moved up here. Riflemen assault units lining up. So that's 2 assault unit squads out here. Mortifying the Jaegers. Flash them out in the center here. Pachino. We got 192 versus 321. It is over to Stephenn. Got the Jaegers falling back here up north here. Riflemen grabbing points. Mortars hanging back here for Stephenn. Back here we got reinforcing healing. Nothing further up here. I'm guessing a more Panther force here. No Starstruppen. Meanwhile, Sloth, they're lining up his armor and vehicles for the next push against the Amerikaner of the 91st Infantry Division. Panther forming up. Good shot on the rifleman. Also close faction to 1 here. In the south, lone rifle squad being set up to grab the southern point, which is only guarded by a single grenadier squad. And there you go, Sherman EC8 knife for Stephenn. He's got 2 Chaffies and an EC8 here, quite the force there. Mix of light and mediums, but well handled, can be quite devastating, in particular combined with seek and destroy at the right time. But there you go, mortifying the Grenadiers. Chaffee takes a bit of a hit from the Panther 4, trying to flank around with them. Oh, that must have been misclicked there by Stephenn. At least his mortar did not get wiped and seized here by TheSloth. He's hitting forwards here for freedom, democracy. Brad Peters on the move again. Panther 4 shoots, bounces off the EC8's frontal armor. Good shot there. Marder moving up here to engage Brad Pitt up north here. An attempted flank around the north side of Pachino is being dispatched here, I think, as he spots the Jaegers in the EC8 alongside the route squad to flush out the Jaegers, but I was now about taking position in the restaurant. The fire down at the EC8 here. Very good use of the building there. Thumbs up to TheSloth. Panther 4 driving up. Oops, got 2 scrolled in there. And we got the Martyrs as well here. Heavy fighting around the center. And we got the another Panther 4 here now for TheSloth. Going to flank around the north side of the town here. Threatening Stephen's north flank now as he's focused on the center here. This could be a very good push here for TheSloth. Of course, if Stephenn were extracted, it could punish him. Rifleman forwards here. Martyr being pushed back. Panther 4 flying away there. In the south, we got the Rouse squad. It was the Grenadiers. Grabbing the southern victory point. We got 308 versus 180. And the Chaffee is in deep trouble. Panther 4 and 2-1. Panzergrenadier knock out the Chaffee. Martyrs go down now. Got a deep flank here by Stephenn. The Chaffee's going in hard here. Backed up with the EC8 here. Almost got the Panther 4. 2-1-28 takes out the other Chaffee. Got it. And we got the white phosphor shell there from the 2-1 on the EC8. Turn the tides here, allowing the Panther 4 there, but it's get white phosphorus in return. It's white phosphorus all over the place. And the 2-1-28 misses the EC8 there. That was quite the circus. The soldiers move on the center. We got the Germans counterattack now rapidly here, looking to punish Stevens for his transgressions against the Third Reich. Panther 4, 2-1 moving up. Up north here, pontoon grab with engineers, hard at work here, pioneers, and we got an anti-tank gun now for Stephenn. As the situation here vis-a-vis the German Panzerwaffe is starting to escalate a bit beyond what he's comfortable with.
We're losing it.
At control-wise, it's certainly a bit all over the place. A bit of a patchwork, and crucially a patchwork that is being held by Stephenn.
You men, get ready.
EC8, though, is in heavy need of repairs. Of course, he does have multiple assault engineer scores, which should very much expedite those repairs pretty rapidly.
A victory point is under attack.
2-1, by the way, is level. That is quite impressive.
Anti-tank team on the field.
Look at this, Otto. We're gonna get medals, yeah, if you survive. And if not, you get posthumous medals. That's not much of a comfort, is it now? I guess not.
Commander, we've lost a
EC8 good to go. Rifleman forwards here. Now the push towards the north side here by Stephenn. Mortified aid deploying smoke. Very good by Stephenn. Thumbs up. 287 and 51. Sloth has finally been able to gain control of all victory points here versus Stephenn. North Grenadiers was the EC8. Being pushed back. Panther 4 being fixed up in the south here. Grenadiers getting grenadier here. Stephenn's men push forwards here. Jaegers until up behind the wreckage of countless knocked out tanks and assault guns. Now the push in the center here by Stephenn. Undercover smoke. Thumbs up. In the south here, the riflemen are being met with toothless firepower. The cover being blown literally apart. Our force withdraw here. And there go EC8 catching the Jaegers out in the open in a pretty uncomfortable spot. Got the anti-tank gun ready here. Great shot on the Jaegers there, leaving Heinz and Deinhardt there quite toast. And now the Sloth is bringing up the armoured reserves here. The Panthers have arrived to support here the 15th Panzergrenadier Division. The Panzerkampfwagen 5 Ausführung D, also known as the early model of the Panther, which is also the model with the most technical issues, which amongst other things included if it tilted at a certain angle the engine would burst into flames. You see getting a great shot from the Panther 4. Panther bouncing a shot there from the anti-tank gun off its 80mm of sloped cooked steel armour over to the Sloth. EC8 in pursuit by the Panther. Panther 4 taking assets here from in return. And we got the 221-28 here moving forwards. Panther continue to pro forwards. Side armor exposed in the anti-tank easily pierces it. The Panther side armor was very much as thick as that of Panther 4, that is 30mm roughly. I mean, initial ones had sloped 20mm armor, roughly gave it the same level of protection. Though they would actually later models, I believe the Model G, go for less sloped side armor to, I believe, expedite repairs of the building of the Yak Panther as well there, basically to, you know, make it easy to produce both of those variants there. So, fun side fact there. Fun side fact. Mortars rapping on the move here. Another anti-tank there for Stephenn. Interesting choice it goes for that now. That was also kind of risk delaying his another EC potentially here. Anti-tank that was being risk here being run over here by Stephenn. Oh, the Sloth, I mean, as he moves towards. We've got the Panther, we got the 221 and the Panther. We're not going up for the EC8 here. They all want Brad Pitt's head on a pike. 221-28 moving forward here. They're going hard enough that EC8 Panther moving. Oh, Panthers are 5 moving in here. EC8 being pushed back, shoots but misses. Mortar team's been caught in a horrible position here. Almost getting both mortar. Actually, that's just one mortar team, but looked like 2 mortar teams briefly there to my eyes. As the action is just so hectic here. Panther pushing them back. Good shot there. Panther was the Ralph squad there. Up north, mortar joining in the fun there. Mines exploding here. Ralph getting stopped and an attempt to flank around up north here. German troops pouring through here. Could go for some Star Strom now or anything else. We'll have to see what he actually does. At this rate, he could also, like, you know, go for the Sturmgewehr or the Star-Strom assault package. You could go for the Vesper. I'd say both are very viable options here to consider, at least for the Sloth. We got 142 to 223 here. 15th Panzergrenadier Division now supported by elements of the 26th Panzer Division, which was the only unit to receive the Panthers action in the first place there. Panther forming up the centre here. We got heavy mortar fire there on the Jaegers in the centre. That said, Sloth has almost brought Stephenn down to his level in terms of victory points. Very close. And we actually got a Vesper here in a 1v1. Not just Martyrs, but a Vesper. Wow. 2 thumbs up. That one did get buffed as well here, becoming a bit cheaper amongst other things. And the Vesper was based off the Panzer II chassis as a fun side note there. He's hitting southwards. Not something you see too often. They'd also based the Marder 2 of the Vespa as well there. Up north here we got the Jaegers to spot of the Ralph squad. Stevens bar wielding GIs there, falls away the Jaegers quite solidly here. We got 142 versus 182. EC8 there, they're taking a hit again. We got the 221-28 with the white phosphorus round. 2 thumbs up. Sort of sense of irony because always the Americans using MCU, but the Sloth chose the Germans got it too as well. How though? Don't ask. Panther 1 the center pushing back the Americans there. Swift counterattack here, backed up with the Panther 4. And we got the Howards actually firing at something. I think he's trying to take out the mortar here. Yup. Oh, 8 thumbs up to the Vespa. Anti-tank engaged in the Panther 4, pushing back Sloth's Panzerkampfwagen. We got 142 to 157. Assault using up in the center here. Mortar gets knocked out here by the Vespa. Very nice to see that. Thumbs up. Yeah, Vespa in 1v1 is very rare.
The enemy has taken a victory point.
This match is definitely a match just full of ref. Oh! Got him, Himmel! Got hit the mine and got shot by the Panther at the same time. That's it. There's a couple of entertaining supporting the EC8 here, but yeah, I don't think the EC is going to make it out of that one alive here, unfortunately, unless Stephenn's getting very lucky there. 2-1 though, gets knocked out. He might actually be able to take out the Panther here though. Like, Sloth kind of went in too hard here with the Panther. They could get snared up and then taken up the entanglements. Panther 4 pressing up in the center. We got another Chaffee now on the way for Stephenn. Looks like he's just given up on more EC8s here. On Brad Pitt. Anti-tank shot there in the Panther 4. Mines going off here. Panther 4 dodged that, actually. It looks like the Panther may just escape here as Stephenn decides to focus on the Panther 4 instead. Perhaps. I don't know what's going on there. Vesper joining in the chorus once more. This time going for the other mortar. Talk about counter battery fire. And there you go, catching Ralph Squad in the process. In the center there, Saltniers, they're going after the Jaegers there. They're so low on health that they could get wiped. Chaffee ready here, and it's over to Stephenn once more. Panther falling back here for repairs. Vesper pulling off its barrel. Saltniers sees in the center. We got 152 versus 131. We got the northern points falling to the hand of the riflery under Stephenn's command. We got the Panther 4 being repaired. We got another Chaffee for Stephenn. He's going hard on the Chaffies now, which of course are fairly cheap at 225 manpower and 50 fuel. And the last thing Stephenn's lacking is fuel at the moment, so it does kind of make sense to go for a lot of Chaffies if you can handle them correctly. Don't think it's what I would have done personally, at least not without also going for the Mechanized support center instead, since you can unlock some upgrades to give your Chaffies a bit more punch if you really want to go for a lot of them. As with the Mechanized support center, you can unlock an ability that is very similar to the HVAC rounds on the EC8, basically increases penetration and damage. There's a little fun one there. Panther moving up here, further up north here, Panther 4 moving in. Sadly, no stars coming out of the Sloth. And we got the Vesper joining in again, the chorus. I'm not entirely sure to try and take out here. I think it's just rounding home to get lucky. North here, Panther 4 sort continues. Stephenn's northern lines of the 91st Division are crumbling. In the face of Gruppe Baumeyer's assault. South here, Grenadiers ground the point here. Vesper hanging back close to Veterans 1. And up north here, we got the Chaffies going for the Panther 4 here. Stephenn is feeling bold. Then again, with Chaffies, you gotta be bold here. And the Panther 4 goes hold down here. Forcing here. Stephenn withdraws Chaffies. We've got the focus fire ability on the Panther 4. Anti-tanks being moved up instead. Mines going from the Grenadiers and the South here, troops moving forwards. We got 139 versus 103 here. This match is anything but over. Chaffies being hauled back for repairs. I mean, one thing Stephenn could also consider at this point, I think, would be the recovery vehicle, I think. Like, there might be some stuff he can recover here and there, including that EC8, if he's, like, lucky and a bit cheeky. I think he'd like to do it. But the question is, would Stephenn find it worthwhile? And let's imagine the answer to that is no. Panther 4 being hauled back for repairs. We've got another Panther 4 now on the way here for TheSloth. Possibly, of course, the Panther 4 is just cheaper than the Panther, obviously. But it could also be like, he's just figuring, you know, more Panthers at the moment won't do him too much good. Maybe. Hard to say, of course, what the exact logic here is. But that said, I'd say both tanks obviously have very much their own uses.
The Chaffee has arrived.
North here, and we got a third Chaffee out for Stephenn. What a interesting twist here. Like, most American players at this one just keep churning out EC8s, but Stephenn instead, it's not like just churning hard onto the Chaffies here. Which is definitely not what I'd expect here. Panther there, just guarding the center here of north here. Riot Squad pushing back the Pioneers. Chaffies lining up anti-tanks. It looks like he might be planning a deep flank here against TheSloth. Moving in from the north here. Yeah, ooh, this could actually work out really well because the freshly arrived Panther 4 is going to get caught here between all the Chaffies and anti-tank. Now we got the Panther moving in a Chaffee in deep trouble. We got the other Chaffies moving up here. Panther 4 in deep trouble. Chaffies don't even deeper trouble here. No, other Chaffies draw their attention. Need the anti-tank to assist here. Panther 4 down. Great kill here for Steam, but there you go. Other Panther 4 arriving. The Chaffee is in flames. Now the other Chaffies are in even deeper trouble here as the Panther 4 and the Panther are squeezing them. We do get snares off here, but I don't think enough here. Panther's ready to Chaffee like smoke, and the Chaffee's down. Now let's try to rearmor the Panther. Anti-tankers were no need to be seen, and the final Chaffee goes down. Sending grab the hip of Stephen's men. MD-42 almost got wiped. Got Mechanized assault activated here by TheSloth. There you go. Great shot from the tank right through the side armor of the Panther. Graham the Sun, the victor, possibly is attempting to. We got 81 versus 93, and there you go. The Grenadiers. Absolutely no match here for the double barb rifleman at Vetchi 3. Snares on the Panther 4 here. Oh, the Panther 5. Rifleman pushed back. We got the Panther 4 pushing northwards past the burning wreckage of countless knocked out tanks. Entertaining flanked out here. Looks like Stephenn is now going to try for another EC8 after all. And we got the Vesper there. Veteran T1 bombarding Stephenn's base. Anti-tank there. Can't get a clear line of sight. And the Panther 4 allowing it to wreak havoc in the orchard. Which is back. No, he counts. Doesn't go for the EC8 after all. Goes for another Chaffee. And we got here the brace ability on the anti-tank gun. That's not one we see often at all. That's a quite interesting choice here for Stephenn. In fact, he's got brace on both of them. Shot bounces. Chaffee's almost done. We got 81 versus 61 here. It's over to the Sloth ally. Got so caught up in action again. Panther diving southwards against the Lone Ralph squad here. Halfway to Veteran C3 in the ace level here. Pioneer TX moving up here. Around the center victor point, northern 1 hands of the Germans. We got 55 versus 81 here. And we got the Vesper bombarding the center. Pioneers into contest here. Buildings collapsing here under the Vesper's unending barrage. Chaffee rushing in here. Guessing he was hoping to take beeline onto the Vesper, but instead with the Panther 4, they're covering that main road. That is pretty much a no-go for Stephenn's Chaffee unless he wishes to get blown up here. But there goes Snare on the Panther 4 engine. Could get up with the anti-tanks, knock it out. This could be a big blow there to Sloth. Drive squad wiped out. Now that's a big blow to Stephenn. What will the Sloth go for next? What will Stephenn go for next? Anti-tankers there, getting flanked by the Panther. Panther 4 down. Chaffee, though, is definitely about to go down to the Panther as it pushes forwards. Anti-tank is braced, which to an extent is great, but not against the Panther, which is on his flank. Assault Engineers surrounded by Jaegers and Grenadiers in the center are fighting a desperate battle. We got another Chaffee out here. Stephenn goes all in. What is going on, everyone? Up north here, Point Blank, he's got 52 versus 68. We got BARs left behind here. The Grenadiers can finally get themselves a Leicht's Maschinengewehr. We got hard to fight into Stephenn's base here. There's so many infantry there. I think that was a pretty good read on the situation out by the Sloth. That Vesper's been, like, pretty decent. 45 points left versus the 52 of the Sloth. Panther being repaired. Close to the ace level. Closer than ever. Hey, look, Otto. I got an American BAR. You know what, Fritz? I'd rather have a candy bar than a BAR at this point.
The enemy have only 25 points left.
24 points left. Big push then change them around to the bar wielding Pioneers and the Grenadiers. Fortifying joining in. We got 15 points left. 12 points. 9. 6. 3 and G. A win here for the Sloth over Stephenn in a very interesting match here. A lot of non-meta plays on both sides for Stephenn going hard on the Chaffies versus the Wehrmacht, particularly this late into the game. Definitely not something anticipated, but also we got to see Wehrmacht Martyrs, we got to see the Vesper, amongst other things there. There's some very interesting choices as well here by the Sloth. And his 2-1-2-8 really did some impressive work with those white phosphorus shots. I mean, again, it kind of makes sense. We see the Americans doing all the time, but just rarely see a Wehrmacht player, bother that much with the 2-1-2-8 to really like the same effect. So, 2 thumbs up here to the Sloth and to Stephenn. Some great back and forth here. In the end, I think there's a mix of slight tactical issues here for Stephenn, and I think inability to really get everything to working at a higher level strategically. That sort of ended up costing him. Maybe a recovery vehicle could have been out there, maybe another EC8, or maybe pushing for Shermans. It's a bit hard to say, though. Maybe should have gone for the Mechanized support center, so you could have had those, armor-piercing rounds up on the Chaffee. There's countless possibilities here for you, but also some good plays here by the Sloth, and some critical mines I think also proved to be crucial for some of that EC8 hitting the mine here was big. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment, tell your friends, tell your family, but not your enemies. And of course, as always, you can support the Propagandacast by donating on Patreon, or donating by PayPal or Patreon. Every bit helps out. Links are in the video description. This is Imperial saying cheers and see you all tomorrow for another episode. Bye everyone.